morning, guys. Come on in here. Happy
Come on
Friday.
in. Happy Friday.
Feels like just yesterday. It feels like 2 seconds ago it was Wednesday, and now we're already at the end of the week, if you can believe it.
And it mainly feels that way because we just filmed all of this week's episodes back to back.
2 episodes back to back. Today is Fun Friday. You know, for Fun Friday, we throw out our agenda. Goodbye, iPad. Goodbye, tablet. We get rid of all of that, and instead we focus on games, fun, and our first ever special guest.
Well, first ever for our morning show. We have interviewed.
That's right, for our countdown to the countdown.
Yeah, this whole, I would say this whole.
And for our Survivor series.
And I didn't even have to speak. We just.
That's that ESP kicking in.
That's that. All right.
Theme is music for our episode
All
today.
right.
So our games center around music.
A little insight, a little BTS between Cinnamon and me is that Cinnamon has always loved singing and music. I just want to put that out there. And was actually auditioned for a couple of our high school musicals and was in a couple of our high school musicals. When the egg split, I would say it's singing is a top fear of mine.
Oh, you won't have to sing it all.
Oh,
And
good.
Can I just say very quickly that I don't like sing, like I don't have a singer's voice. I just love to sing because I love songs and music.
Don't
so
lie,
I just want to say,
don't lie.
No,
don't
that
lie.
is absolutely the truth. So we're going to be playing Name That Tune and finish the lyrics. But
Before we do that, should we explain our attire?
Allison,
was that to say
you read my mind?
Oh, good.
Can I say it first?
I have it on my post-it note that it's supposed to be me. That says audition.
This is no. Here's what I want to say, and you guys can weigh in on this. I'm wearing my hoodie from my. Well,
no.
Why are we wearing these
okay.
hoodies? Why are we
That's
wearing
what I was trying to say, Sin. So this is our alma mater, and it's football season, and Fairfield U did have a football team for like a year and a half.
Like the 2 years that
we were there.
2 years that we were there is like the only time they've ever had a
They
football
were trying
team.
so hard to start up a football team. It didn't work out. Well, basketball is what we're known for, but I guess in a pretty cool way. Like we're one of the top whatever is in basketball. And fill in the blanks, you know. Oh, we don't.
Red Wave.
Clearly.
Is that what they called it? What do they used to call it at the game?
Crimson Tide.
Crimson Tide. Is it?
Yeah. I think that one of them. Aunt Flo. One of those. One of those is a euphemism for something else. I don't know which. And one is actually what we would shout in these stadiums. When I say we, I mean the people of our class. We were driving backward commuters.
The reason our football team didn't survive, like literally, was because they started by recruiting little freshmen.
That's hysterical. That's true.
Playing against these senior football. So every time we didn't have a chance against
all
any
you had
other
to do
team.
was look for the little guys in red on the field playing against like the actual.
It looked
team.
like Little League. You know, they have their helmets a little too big and kind of bobbleheady, and they were
basically high school seniors.
They're basically high school seniors playing against basically NFL players,
basically men.
So it was destined for...
So it didn't, anyway, basketball is where we thrived and continue to thrive, so I've heard.
Yes. But this hoodie was actually mine. I bought it when I was at Fairfield University.
I know where you're going.
And I love hoodies, but I love them to be really, really big. And this little sucker shrunk in the wash. You see, it fits me just right, which to me is not just right. I like an XXXL.
This is where I pick up the story.
And so my mom, and during a moment of generosity, my mom was visiting. I said, "Mom, you can." She was, I think, wearing it because she was cold. And I said, "Mom, you can have mine. You can have mine. You can keep it. You can keep it."
Maybe it was right after.
And then she gave it to you.
No,
Allison thinks she can keep it.
Let me pick up the story so you can understand how this metamorphosis happened.
I just said it in a nutshell. We had to be concise.
No,
concise.
I was 3 years old when I first saw. No, I went into Mom's closet and saw a Fairfield U sweatshirt.
Beautiful. This is when I still use
it's been enough years
embroidery
now between graduation from college and life where you're like a little nostalgic. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I would like to have that Fairfield U sweatshirt because mine is super bright. And sometimes you want to be subtle. And so I was like, Mom, do you wear this? And Mom's like, no, you can have it. And I was like, great. And I brought it home.
Allison brought it home.
Carefully washed it, hung it in my closet. Cinnamon just pulled it out and said, this is mine.
This is mine.
You gave it to Mom. Mom gave it to me.
Weigh in, guys. Who should this belong to?
You don't need to weigh in. We already know what you're going to say.
Mom gave it to Allison, but it's mine. We will start with Finish the Lyric. Shall we?
Okay, all right.
Okay.
I'm ready.
This is in honor of Tony. Since our guest is musical, we're playing musical games.
Okay.
I was trying to think of
Should
how
we
we
play
could
musical chairs?
Trust me when I was going to say, I was trying to think of how we could play musical chairs.
And what stopped you?
Because there's only 2 chairs.
Well, that's the humor of it. That would be funny.
They give you the decade, they give you the singer, they don't give you the title of the song,
Okay.
and here's the lyric. Tramps like, so it's 1970s Bruce Springsteen.
Okay.
Tramps like us, baby, we were born to...
Rock and roll?
Shall I give you multiple choice?
No.
Born to live,
In the
born
USA.
to run, or born to die? Tramps like us, baby, we were born to live,
I
run,
wonder why you
or
chose this
die.
one. Why did you choose this one?
run. I just thought it was a challenging one. All the other ones seemed so easy to me.
I
knew you wouldn't know that one.
I feel like you
You have
called
to
me a
make it a little
tramp. I'm
challenging.
reeling from that, actually. What just happened?
Okay. This is, the decade is 1970s. It's Elton John. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Count the blank on the highway.
Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Hold me closer. Count the headlights on.
Did you look at my screen?
No, I'm.
How did you know it's
Oh,
headlights?
because that's the lyric.
Oh, I'm very impressed,
All right,
Allison.
headlights.
Very impressed. The decade is 1970s. I guess I got this from a website, and so I guess
Let me just
I didn't
say,
get
before
past-
my time, but I know I like the
clearly,
music.
clearly,
Yeah, clearly.
but love the
I
music. The Bee Gees sang, "Whether you're a blank or whether you're a blank, you're staying alive." Staying alive, which is a
Whether
CPR
you're a
song.
lover or whether you're staying alive. So lover or diddle it.
It's whether you're a brother or whether you're a mother.
Oh,
Isn't that weird?
Whether you, I've always
Whether
thought.
you're a brother, whether you're a mother, staying alive. That's weird, right?
I always thought.
All right. 1980s, finally a new decade. Tina Turner sang, "You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than
Simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone.
Wow, it is. It's anyone. Wow, Allison. All right. Now it's time for Name That. All right, so I'm going to hum. I was trying to think of how many beats to hum. You know, like,
2.
no, that's because I want you to be able to guess this. So,
I can do it in 1.
Okay.
You don't have to hum it. I'll tell you. No.
First song. Bum, 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 bum. I'm only going to do 10 beats.
Do it one more time.
Bum, 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 bum.
Wait, now are you humming the song or
That's the song.
the harmony of it?
Well, it's the chorus.
Go ahead, try again.
Bum, 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 bum.
No, Sin, you didn't do
Can I
it
go
right.
further?
Yeah.
15 beats?
Well, just in tune.
Well, bum, 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 bum.
Ba, 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 na, 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 da,
It's Ring of
na,
Fire.
na,
It's Ring of
na,
Fire.
na,
We
na,
can't sing
na.
too much because we might have to buy the
Da,
rights
na,
to these
na, na,
songs.
No, I wasn't doing Ring of Fire. I was doing
No, I know you weren't.
a
but I'm
new
just-
song. I think that would have made it a gold record. Did you?
Can you hear now that's Ring of Fire?
No, I can't. Not at all.
Bum, 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 bum,
No, I
bum,
did.
bum, 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 bum.
Na, 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 na. I'll get a little bit of gravel.
Well, it's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to
I
be
would, but
challenging.
that sounds like a marching band to me. I pictured it.
I'm trying to be as I'm trying to keep it as
I thought it was very football themed. I could picture us at the Norwalk High School.
well because
field.
well football theme. That's to the keeping. Okay.
I saw Brown Eyed Girl, so use any song but Brown
Oh,
Eyed
that
Girl.
was the one I was gonna do next.
That's the one I saw, and I'm very honest. Hey, try Brown Eyed Girl. Cut this part out and do Brown Eyed Girl. Is it Brown Eyed Girl?
Dee 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 dee.
I'll be back again, leaving.
Maybe I'm gonna play one more.
Okay. Well, just one
What do you mean?
that I actually get, other than the one I got. Softly with his song, making my whole life.
Okay, we can't because we don't have to pay. We don't have to pay for it. I think you get like 15 seconds of the song.
With the
before-
Fugees.
Hey, stop! You can't stop, Alfred. They're gonna be no. I'll do one more because that you got that one really fast.
Shall I do one? That sounds like a cell phone, like a ring. Hello? I know which song it is now, but I don't know
What is it?
I don't know what song it is.
I wanna
Oh,
hold
no, I don't know the Beatles
hand.
songs. I know that, but that's going to polarize people, and I apologize. Please don't turn me off just because I say I just don't know the
The
Beatles.
next one's Wooly Bully, but I don't even know what song
Woolly
that is.
Bully.
What is Wooly
That's
Bully?
probably something horrible. I don't even know what that means.
Is it? Oh, oh, we're gonna go.
Wooly
Wooly Bully.
Alexa, what's Woolly Bully?
I don't think so.
Alexa,
stop.
I think that's for Dirty Dancing. I
Okay,
bet.
then I don't know what
Alexa,
song
did
that-
they play Woolly Bully in Dirty Dancing?
Wooly Bully is played by Sam the Sham.
That didn't answer that. Our very first guest, very pleased. Tony's with us. We're going to tell you more about her during our interview, but she went from LA life to
big city to
off
rural.
the grid, and a very cool story.
Very cool story.
And a dear friend of ours. So
and also an artiste. She is a singer and a music teacher and
a music coach.
Yes.
A coach now.
You look so happy.
Very happy.
We moved up to the mountains, 3 hours from LA. You moved 3,000
1,000
miles.
I
Tell us
know.
your story about how
Tony, how many times had you been to Maine before you made the move?
Well, we had never been to Maine when we decided to move. And then we thought it was maybe a good idea to come back and make sure that we really meant it. It's kind of a COVID story where we were all locked down, and I found out that I'm a vocal coach, and I am still doing lessons virtually. I found out I could do lessons virtually. I didn't know I could do that. And so when I knew I could do that, the whole world opened up. We took this little vacation to Maine, and I turned to Ronnie at some point and said, I could live here. And he said, you could not. And I was like, no, wait, my fantasy. What are you doing? He said, no, because I could live here. And we never agree on, when we say vacation, he's saying Caribbean and I'm saying Copenhagen. We just never agree on geography ever. Someone has always made a compromise. We just love it. We both love it. We had our first winter, and everything. We got the cord of wood, and we bought the generator, and all the things you have to do. And we live on this kind of a gnarly driveway, and we got lots of snow, and have to get down the driveway. So we immediately heard from everybody that when are you buying a truck? And we're like, which truck was it? Anyway, we found the truck, we got the truck, the generator, everything. We made it through our first winter. A neighbor's walking their dog, I'm walking my dog, and she said, the neighbors are all talking, like you made it through your first winter. And we were taking little side bets, that they'd be packing up to, and I said, no, this is like the end of March. No, we're so proud of ourselves. And it was fabulous. And she says, we're just all so glad that it was such a mild one. And my eyes went doing, 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 doing. That was a mild winter. So zoom ahead to just like a couple weeks ago, we were invited to a party, and somebody said, yeah, the beehives, the beehive. Do you have beehives? And I'm like, we seem to have a lot of bees, like a lot of the flowers are, bees. And no, the hives. And I'm like, I don't know if we have, well, they're high. The beehives are high. And I'm like, okay, yeah, high beehives means
like up in the trees.
Bad winter.
Oh,
So the really mild winter from last year, everybody's like, yeah, not so much this year.
So
how do you prep?
their forecast is based on how high the beehives
are.
You couldn't write that, Tony.
This is the kind of conversation you have at parties in Maine.
How are you prepping for this winter?
Well, the same thing. So last year we bought a cord of wood. So this year we bought two.
Oh.
And by a cord of wood, I mean more wood than you could like.
Okay.
Like it's all along the side of the house, kind of a thing.
lot, yeah, all over the side of the house.
Is that because you lose power, and
we lose power all the time, and we just had that Hurricane Lee that didn't really hit us, but there was a storm. And what happens is the trees, their roots get soggy or whatever, and trees go down with wind. So it's not necessarily that it's a lot of snow or a lot of anything. Trees go down. So our power goes up all the time.
When you lose your power, how long are you without power usually? Is it like a couple hours, or is it a couple days?
It can be anything. With Lee, it was 2 full days. While I had friends visiting, which was so festive, including our blow up mattress that has to have constant airflow. So there's like this so you plug it in, constant airflow, and then the generator stops working. And Angela went, you know, Angela, splat onto the ground like at 3 o'clock in the morning. You're like, oh.
Well, Tony, so every time I call you, I feel like, honestly, I keep saying and begging you, because Tony's also, beside being a talented voice coach, is a talented writer. And I'm always like, Tony, please write this into a book. Please write this into a book. It's just
Oh,
too.
wow.
You want to tell us about your first wildlife?
Oh, day 5? You mean day 5? When I arrived here with my husband who had caught COVID, he drove the car. I came, he's like sick as a dog, and I don't know where I am, and I don't know where the dog is. And you know, and so anyway, I'm driving, and on the little, you know, the bigger road getting to our house, I don't want to say I hit the deer. The deer hit me. It came like flying across the highway, hit my car, and then either like frolicked off or bounced off or went into the woods. And I was just, you know, vegetarian for 40 years. I was like, okay, I'm eating a lot of fish now. I'm eating lobster.
Pescatarian.
And lobster, I hear. A lot
Yeah,
of
I know.
lobster.
But for that day, yeah, back in the day, it was really strange. Anyway, I hit this deer. There's a car behind me. Now in Maine, that's already unusual because you drive and go, oh, there's a car, you know. Anyway, there was a car behind me. So I knew not to like slam on my brakes. But I slowed down, I was shaking, and then I went back to try to see the deer, and come to find out, no, if you had hit the deer, there would have been 10 hunters going, we've got it, we'll take it, you know. So I don't know if I killed the deer or not. I come home, I'm not crying, but like close, and I'm shaking, and I go like, Ronnie, I think I killed a deer. And Ronnie comes out and goes, no, I think the deer just killed your car. And I hadn't even considered the fact $7,000 worth of damage this deer did on my car. Day 5. The dog has been quilled by a porcupine.
Oh,
That happened.
how do you remove quills from a dog?
Very carefully. They bring their face to the porcupine, and he releases they actually slap you with the hind end and so anyway, you know, it's like 1:30 in the morning. You can't just like pop to the vet. And so I was like coochie coo from behind and kind of holding his head. And Ronnie took these quills out, including needing pliers for one that had gotten in his gum. And then we called the vet the next day saying, you know, should we bring him in? And the vet was like, you did what? You took and the dog didn't bite you? And we're like, no, nobody takes the quills out by themselves because the poodles, little lap dogs will bite you because it's so upsetting. They don't understand what's going on.
Is it like barbed? Is it?
I wonder
like
if the quills are barbed, so it hurts coming out.
It hurts, yeah. Anyway, little Duke, and he was like in shock. So that was the quills. And then we went to neighbors invited us for dinner. I'm like, oh my God, there's a fox at the window. And they're like, oh, a gray one or a red one? I'm like, I don't know. Right now, the chipmunks are crossing the road. It's like, why did the chipmunk cross the road? Because the other 800 chipmunks crossed the road. So everywhere you go, just today, there was a frog that, you know, I mean, there's so much. A family of moose moved in across the highway, so they're not on our side. That happens about once every 15 years.
But no bears, so you can like walk without worrying.
No bears. Bears happen further north.
Okay,
so as you go toward Canada.
That's my kind of forest.
The only thing you have to worry about is ticks. There are no poisonous anything in Maine. There's no poisonous spiders, no poisonous snakes, no poisonous frogs. Ronnie got bit by a spider, and they said, oh, it was a brown recluse. And I'm like, no, you don't know. I've read this. You don't have poisonous spiders. And the doctor was like, no, we don't. But your husband just got bit by a brown recluse. No. Because now we have to rethink Maine. I escaped the Black Widows of the San Fernando Valley for the no poisonous anything program.
Well, how did they explain that then? How?
There's no explanation. There's no, and I said it 3 times, but there aren't. I've read this. There are, and the nurse is going, no. There's no poisonous spiders in Maine. That's true. But your husband got bit by a brown.
That's amazing that they were able to identify it.
An immediate 30-minute antibiotic drip to like just
so he immediately
knocked that out. So anyway, that was a little surprising.
I have 2 questions. One is I want to ask what a day in the life is like there because it feels so Hallmark movie. And the other one is because you keep talking about your parties and friends, and we have found, having moved to a remote area, building community is so hard.
That's my question. That's my question.
Oh, okay. All right. So just mine, which is, what is a day in the life? Like, what is a typical day in Maine for you like now?
Well, I think the things that would be different, and partly because I lived in Europe for so long, I like run to the grocery store and buy what I need for dinner. You know, you
Yeah.
can't do that because you might be snowed in, you might be not just snow, like mud. If there's too much mud, we can't get down our driveway because you know. So the day in the life, the things you have to plan for. So things like shopping become like a, you know, don't forget anything. And then I take my little cooler with me because, you know, if it's warm and it's an hour drive home, you don't want whatever it is to, you know, spoil or whatever. And then there's things like we don't have trash pickup. So we have to go to the dump,
Oh.
or what some people call Walmart South, because at the dump, there's like a trailer.
Oh.
And people bring stuff, and Danny, so number two son, just went to a party and said, "Remember that jacket I got at the dump? I got so many compliments on it." I mean, it's so yeah. So when we first moved here, like I have a rocking chair, we got a couch, we got
That's great. That's like upcycling. That's a huge thing now to like.
It's so gorgeous. So going to the dump 3 days a week. And I go all 3 days, you know, because you just, and it's our neighborhood. So it's like when you say community, you're like, you meet a community with things like, you know, can you help me plow the driveway? Or, you know, or you meet at the dump or whatever. So the dump is part of, but you can't call it the dump.
Oh no.
We learned that. Yeah, it's the transfer station.
The transfer station.
Because if you call it the dump, there's like 3 older gentlemen who work there that are like, "I'm sorry, you were from California, that's right." You know, you're like, "Oh!" So not knowing this, there were 3 of them standing there. I went, "Oh, do you guys know the joke?" Because I'm trying to be friendly. "Where does the Lone Ranger take his trash? To the dump, to the dump, to the dump, dump, dump." One guy, one of them starts laughing hysterically, and the other 2 are like, "Oh, okay." So anyway, so you have to go to the dump. I actually, as a vocal coach, so in terms of community, I did start a choir. I had an adult choir in Los Angeles. I started an adult choir here, and I have sisters, and I have 2 mother-daughter teams that are singing in my choir. So my choir, the ages run from mid-20s to mid-60s.
Oh.
And they're like mothers and daughters are coming to sing together. That to me is just like,
You get mail delivered to your door, or do you have to go out and get your
oh
mail?
no, you go down our driveway across the pond, and then there's all the mailboxes, you know, lined up.
Oh,
And you were trying to make friends with your mail lady at one point, Tony, because
I think I have. Yeah. It's hard to tell. I started bringing her chocolate, and she would look at me and say, "Thank you." And you'd be like, "Oh God," I think she said thank you. You know, Mainers they're a little bit reserved. You know, when you come from California and it's like, "Oh," there's none of that sort of forced joviality. Everybody is just
real.
There's no pretense. There's just precious little, you know, pretense.
That's
But you do have to be careful of things like the accents. You know, so you'd be like, "Oh, you're from Boston," and they'd be like, "No." You know, "I'm from Bar Harbor," because the accents are so close. Yeah, Bahama. Yeah, the carpet. They were laying the carpet this morning, actually. Yeah. So I can't really tell the difference between the accents yet, but Mainers definitely have an accent.
Because we grew up watching Jessica Fletcher with Cabot Cove, and all the actors had a different version of that Maine accent. But I remember she was always like, "Jessica, you got to get the car from the."
Yeah, oh, totally. Also, though, because Halloween is coming up, I do want to give Stephen King a little shout out, because Stephen King lives in Bangor and has never left, has always lived there, and you can go visit his house.
Oh, wow.
If he's there, he'll come. If a crowd gathers around, he'll come out and talk. And he is always there on Halloween, and his house is open to children for trick or treating.
Are you gonna go?
Are you gonna
Tony?
go?
Well, so we didn't go we visited the house because it was really, really fun. But yeah, I think maybe this year I'll go up. And he's gargoyles and like crazy totem. I mean, it looks like a scary house with wrought iron gates. And it looks like Stephen King's house. Ginormous,
Wow.
property. But isn't that sweet?
That is
That's
very sweet.
amazing.
And he's quite a philanthropist for Maine. Like you'll see, he gave another, $2 million to the such and such hospital or whatever.
Well, isn't it
Um,
cool to think that he's probably traveled everywhere for book tours, and yet he's chosen
I was gonna
Maine?
say quite the endorsement for Maine that
Absolutely.
he
Yeah.
not leave.
Because we're running out of time, Tony, but I know we promised you we'd keep this short and sweet, but this has been definitely
Hard to leave.
hard to leave the conversation. I wanted to ask you, Tony, because as I said, I did Google Earth you, and it's green, 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 and then like a little house nestled in a
I
forest
know.
at
Yeah.
the top of a very windy road. Do you worry about crime, or how do you
Do you
feel?
worry about someone knocking on your windows?
There is no crime in Maine. Maine is the #1 safest state in the union.
Wow.
#1. There is no crime. You come out of, normally you come out of the grocery store and you hear gang, 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 all people opening their car doors. So for the first 6 months, it was just me, click, click, and everybody would turn around and look at me like, I wonder what she's got in that car. You're like, why did she lock her car? There's no crime.
Tony, this has been such a pleasure talking with you. and
I'm packing my
fun.
bags for sure. Maine is definitely now top of my list of where I want to
well, I
go.
definitely want to
I
visit.
mean,
We're both planning a move to the East Coast, but I want to.
yeah, no, you're both come. And so right now we're building the studio. So we'll have 2 guest bedrooms because right now we have the little guest bedroom and then the other bedroom has been the makeshift studio.
Oh,
Now
okay.
that's built in the garage, just about done. So yeah, so come, oh my God, come visit. Oh, it's
Definitely will.
so charming.
Definitely will.
I might have to get you to eat lobster though. I miss you both. This was so
Oh.
much fun.
This
Thank
was
you
a
so
pleasure,
much,
Tony. This is
So fun.
you're living a story. You're
Yeah.
living. You need to write.
Let me just tell you, like this, I've adopted this, like in life. Just stop. Just stop. I love that. So I
Yeah.
love your show. It's so much fun. You guys are so much fun. I just
We
love
love
it.
you, Tony, and
Yeah,
this is
love you too.
pleasure.
Mwah.
All right, before we go, I think Alexa plays the name of that tune. Let's just see if we can play it. Do one.
Yeah, let's do
real
one.
quick. Alexa, can we play Name That Tune?
Name that tune trivia. I will ask you 5 questions.
Okay. Oh, we
just lost our power.
Oh, that's a shame.
Special thank you to Tony. Thank you for joining us today. And
Love Bug thinking about you
remember, do unto others
as you would have them do unto you.
Enjoy your weekend.
And this is cabin life right here. We lose power, I would
And-
say once a week.
We definitely need to figure out where we're having dinner because it's not here anymore.
No.
Goodbye, everyone.
Have a great weekend. Ooh.